What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so today marked the opening game of the playoffs for the OKC Thunder. The Thunder had the best record in the NBA. They won 68 games, going 68-14, of course. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander looks to be on the verge of winning the MVP award. He'll be the third Thunder in about a decade to win an MVP award, the other two being Kevin Durant in 2014, a little bit over a decade when I think about it as far as seasons. Third in 11 years, Kevin Durant won it during the 2013-14 season, and of course, Russ won it in the 2016-17 season. Memphis, of course, earned the 8th spot in the postseason with a victory Friday against, I think it was, who was it? Was it Dallas, I believe it was, they beat a depleted Dallas team. And now when we look at the results of this opening day massacre, maybe we still would have been better against a depleted Mavs team, because from damn near start to finish, this game was a complete blowout. I mean, Reagan, Mondale, Nixon, McGovern, LBJ, Goldwater, Roosevelt, Landon, whatever political blowout the reference you want to make, this was that. A 51-point shellacking, 131-80. And the crazy thing about it is that Shai statistically had his worst game of the season. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, only 15 points on 4 of 13 shooting, 1 of 7 from three-point range. He was 6 of 7 from the line. He had 5 assists, only 3 rebounds, and it did not matter. The Thunder had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different players in double figures. And their defense, especially in the first 3 quarters of this game, was unbelievable. Aaron Wiggins off the bench in 26 minutes of play had 21 points on 8 of 15 shooting, 4-7 from downtown. Chet Holmgren, who missed much of this season due to injury, which makes their 68 wins that much more impressive. He had 19 points, going on with 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 5-11 from the floor, 3 of 4 from three-point range, 6 of 6 at the line. Jalen Williams had 20 points, plus minus 44. Jesus. That got to be approaching record territory. 10 of 16 from the floor, 0 for 4 from three-point range, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 1 block. Isaiah Hartenstein showing why the New York Knicks missed his production and presence. 14 points, 8 rebounds, 7 of 8 from the floor, 1 steal. Lou Dort, 12 points, 4 of 8 from the field, all from three-point range. Remember when Lou Dort couldn't shoot threes? Well, he's definitely worked and added that part to his game. And I mean, it was just complete domination by the Thunder. 54% from the floor. They made 17 threes, 35% from three-point range. And at one point in time, their percentage was a lot better than that. They kind of tailed off a little bit as far as their accuracy from outside on the bench, emptied in the fourth quarter, but it didn't matter. The Thunder the Memphis Grizzlies were just atrocious. Jaren Jackson Jr., who I believe is a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 of 13 shooting. Ja Morant, 17 points, 6 of 17 from the floor, 1 of 6 from three-point range. Was no factor at all, honestly, in this game. Matter of fact, if you look at the game down the stretch, from what I understand, the guy was laughing on the bench, man. That tells you right there, when you lack leadership, when you lack maturity in your leadership or your so-called leadership positions, this is what happens, man. Desmond Bain 9 points, only 3 of 12 from the floor. Scottie Pippen Jr., only 2 points, 1 of 9 from the floor. Just a disgrace to his father in this particular game. Interestingly enough, Marvin Bagley III had a great game. 17 points, 8 of 8 from the floor, including a three-pointer, which was I think beyond area code range, half court buzzer beater, I think to end the third quarter, I believe it was. He had a great game shooting, but I know he could care less about that. The Grizzlies held Memphis to 34% shooting, only 6 of 34 from three-point range, 17.6%. And when it came to team rebounding, the Thunder had an edge 54-43. Team assists, Memphis only had 18 team assists. The Thunder, 37. And, I'm not totally surprised. Well, I can't sit there and say that I thought that they were going to lose by 50. I can't sit there and say that. I am surprised they lost by 50 points, but I'm not surprised that they lost the game. You look at some of the moves Memphis made this year with the firing of their head coach with 10 games remaining in the season. Taylor Jenkins had won 55% of his games as a coach with the franchise. I still don't understand that firing. John Morant with his antics. You just see this franchise is heading nowhere, and that's why I'm about 70% sure that John Morant is playing his last games as a Grizzly, because this franchise isn't going anywhere. Whatever promise they showed 2-3 seasons ago, that day is done. John Morant, to me, has regressed as a player. He's exciting at times, but he's not a franchise level player to me. His size is part of it. But, I can't just limit it to size, because Allen Iverson was smaller than Ja. But Allen Iverson had the heart of a lion. Allen Iverson, despite his size, would imprint his greatness in game, and he would will himself into being a factor, despite his size. You couldn't stop him. You couldn't contain him. He had that energy. He had that passion, that drive to be dominant. John Morant is content with putting up numbers and making money and wanting to be, a studio thug / whatever you want to call it, NBA fake thug. That's what he's interested in. Now, look, on the one hand, I'll say that John Morant gets too much flack for some things, right? But on the other hand, as far as being a leader, he's not that. You can't win a champion. He's not a guy you can win a championship with. At best, John Morant is a third option on a championship team. But anyway, congratulations to the Thunder on a dominating Game 1 victory. I told you guys all year, the Thunder were for real. Y'all didn't want to hear me. They have the NBA record for most double-digit victories in a season. They have the NBA record for largest point differential in the season, better than the 96 Bulls, better than the 2017 and 16 Warriors, better than the 83 Sixers, better than the 87 Lakers, the 86 Celtics, the 67 76ers. They're an all-time great team. And I've been trying to tell people that, but, people don't want to hear what I got to say. You know what I'm saying? Now, will they win a championship? Time will tell. The 2016 Warriors were still an all-time great team. They just failed to ultimately get that validation as a champion to submit themselves as potentially the greatest team ever. So, time will tell, but tell me what you guys think.